Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Nikke Goddess of Victory video. So let's talk a little bit more about the current banner. First things first, good thing that is happening right now. If you guys haven't logged into the game, you should be getting 10 free pulls today. Now that's because I think it was #1 in the App Store specifically. 10 free tickets to help you out if you guys are pulling for Bunny characters, right? Bunny 8 in particular. So with that being said, let's talk about the new banner as well. So I want to focus more on this particular one, and that is going to be the Selective Recruit. Now, if you guys did not log in yesterday, they did give you out 20 free pulls, selective recruitment voucher. Make sure you guys use that. That's going to be exclusively for this particular banner. Now, if you don't use that, that thing will go away and just disintegrate. So make sure you guys use that specific ticket. Now, in this particular banner, you can see right now, you can select the recruitment. Out of this, you get 6 characters to pick. Now, I'm sure you guys are aware by now, Swimsuit Anis is going to be the best character to pick right here. I've made multiple videos regarding this, right? So she is going to be the one to go with. But outside of Swimsuit Anis, are any of these characters worth picking up? So in this video, I'll hopefully try to break it down for you guys and give you guys a better perspective of who and what I think is going to be the better character as a whole, right? So with that being said, let's jump into it. Let's talk about Swimsuit Anis, why she is so strong. I think like this is going to be a little bit of a Swimsuit Anis guide if anyone is looking to build her as a whole. Now she is going to be a very good character. In fact, I did got lucky and I got 1 extra copy for her. As you can see, most likely I'm going to try to limit break 3 her, you know, just so I can get her background to put in the MLB section, right? Now what makes Swimsuit Anis very strong, and in my opinion, why I think she is going to be future proof, just due to her nature of her being a very unique supporter in that particular case. Now yes, Swimsuit Anis is not an attacker, she's a supporter. If you look at her kit right here, her equipments is going to need the support type equipments. You need a supporter for all of these particular one, even though she's a burst 3 electric type character. Now what makes her so good right here is going to be this particular one on her skill 1. Alright, so it is going to be one of the best, in my opinion, the best skill for general purpose, right? So she is going to be a character that helps buff electric code allies. So this is going to be very useful. Again, attack percent boost, 55% of the caster's attack and reload speed, 49% in total for 10 seconds. That's just a lot of value, a lot of buff in this passive skill alone, right? Now most supporters are usually in burst 1 or burst 2, but Swimsuit Anis Sparkling Summer is going to be in burst 3. That's going to make it much easier for you to build a team surrounding her. Now if you guys are looking to build a team with Swimsuit Anis, let me give you guys a little bit of sample right here. Her best team is ideally going to be pairing her with Cinderella. Now something like this is going to be something that you will see a lot. Alright, so we got Cinderella as your burst 3, and then we got Rouge, and then Ain. Of course, this is going to be surrounding, make sure that Rouge is in position 2, and then position 1 and position 3 is going to be your DPS, right? And then of course Crown is going to be the burst 2, and then Anis Sparkling Summer is going to help you out as the last slot. She doesn't need to burst, she's just there to be able to help out with her skill 1. So she is going to basically act as that particular case, very strong, very flexible. Now if you don't have this particular team, you can consider going with this particular electric team composition right here. Alright, so same concept, but instead you have Scarlet and Trina. So Trina pairs really well with Scarlet if you guys are not aware. So she's an exclusive character that's designed for Scarlet. This is a very strong team. Obviously the Cinderella one is going to be the best, but I understand that not everybody has her, right? Now another character that I get asked a lot is going to be Swimsuit Helm right here, alright, Summer Helm, because this is going to be a constant one that I think a lot of players are going to say that she is still strong. And I think Helm, when she first came out, she was one of the better burst 2 character. However, things have pretty much changed right now, alright. In the meta, I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, Crown came out after her, which sort of like revolutionized the burst 2 as a whole. Right now in the burst 2 meta or team comp as a whole, Swimsuit Helm just doesn't provide anything anymore. So what she does is, you can see right here, she has CDR, alright, cooldown reduction, very important for a burst 2 character. This is going to make her very unique, right? So if you can see right here, she also helps a little bit to do a little bit of damage right there. And you can see, affects the same target when they belong to electric code. Damage taken increase. So she's gonna be very strong against enemies who are electric code. She helps to increase the damage taken. Can be used in solo raids if you're looking as a 5th slot team whatsoever, right? But outside of that, she's going to be specifically used as an iron code character and very specific to solo raids. I don't really think you're gonna use her in any other situation outside of that, right? So the truth is, because she is so niche, she is so unique to that particular solo raid team comp, the only person that should be pulling her are the top whales whatsoever, right? I do think that for most normal players, if you're free to play and stuff, you should be avoiding her because right now if you're looking for a much more flexible burst 2 that has CDR, we already have Dola in the game. Dola can provide something similar. Now, albeit Dola is also going to get outclassed right now by a lot of other characters. I do get it that if you're looking for CDR for Burst 2, it's just going to be quite rare. Dola and I believe Swimsuit Helm are going to be the only few characters that has that, right? Now, if you really care about meta, instead of getting Swimsuit Helm as well, right now Bunny 8 is there. I feel like she's going to be by far the better character. In my opinion, after testing her yesterday, she's going to be the character to go to, especially looking at the meta right now. I feel like there's just no reason for you to not get Bunny 8. So definitely she's going to be some consideration as well for players, even though I understand that Bunny 8 is going to be added to the standard banner. But if you're looking at just the value of the characters in the meta, I feel like this is going to make her quite unique. Now, Winter Rupee is probably going to be the worst one out of the bunch, sadly. She is going to just not be worth it in most cases. So right now, there's going to be a couple of problems with her. So number one is going to be her requirement to re-enter burst skill stage 1. So similar to Tia, if you use her, you have to make sure that she has one more burst 1 character in the team. So you're forced to use 2 burst 1 characters. So that's going to be a little bit tricky, and I think like it is going to make it for a harder setup. Number 2, none of a kit gives you any special buffs whatsoever. You can see right now, this one gives you defense % increase. It affects everyone, which is cool, right? Maybe for PvP, but outside of that, there's just better characters out there, right? You can see on skill 2 as well, she basically give more defense %. And then she also helps burst gauge filling speed right here. That's going to, I guess that's the most useful thing that she has. And then she applies Taunt as well when she activates her burst skill. Now, all of this is kind of, it sounds good, it sounds decent, but it's not the best, right? Defense % generally in this game is just not that good compared to damage reduction. Those damage taken reduction %, those are going to be better. Same like damage % in general is just going to be better than a lot of the other crit rate %, crit damage %, and of course attack % in this game generally tends to be more useful as well, right? So it's the same concept, and a lot of this defense % is just not that good, especially when you have other characters that can give damage reduction %. One more thing is also she doesn't have CDR in burst 1, so that makes it a little bit difficult to use her. Specifically, she doesn't provide enough for you to justify bringing 2 burst 1 character, right? So let's say you pair her with Lita, what's the justification of bringing her in, right? Outside of, yeah, she can help reload speed right here, but that's pretty much what it is. Outside of that, there's just no reason for her specifically. She's just not worth getting. I don't see a time or a moment where you're going to use her at all, right? In the meta, if you are looking for collection, sure, she could be considered, but in the meta right now, there's just no reason. Now let's talk about Miracle Fairy Anne. Now this is going to be by far, in my opinion, if you are looking to pull for a second character outside of Summer Anise, I think she probably will be the second priority that I would recommend. Now, is she absolutely a must pull? Not really, because she's much more of a PvP focused character. Now, it depends on you whether or not you focus on PvP or not. So right now, she is going to be the few character Nikkes in the game that has the ability to revive, alright? So you can see, based upon her burst skill, so recovers 38% of caster's final max HP, she can help you with that. She can also boost attack by 77%. That is very good for affecting the other attacker allies, right? And right here you can see, she can basically revive one attacker ally units randomly. Alright, resurrects with 99% HP, activates once per battle. This makes her really strong in PvP. Alright, aside from her, the only other character that has this revive ability is going to be a Rapunzel. So she is going to be a burst 2 however though. So if you have any characters that die and you are putting her in like an attacker team comp, she's going to be very strong in there. Outside of that, in PvE scenario, her buffs are just too spread out because you can see this one affects attacker allies on the burst skill. Her skill 1 affects supporter allies, alright, where she basically recover their HP. But she doesn't recover defenders or she doesn't recover attackers, right? And then her skill 2, you can see she basically increase your healing potency, and she decrease enemies healing potency as well. So it's not going to be that useful. I guess it doesn't really apply too much in PvE scenario. She's going to be okay, and definitely being a rocket launcher helps her a lot. In PvP specifically. Now if you're looking to focus in PvP, then she's going to be a very good character to consider getting. Otherwise, I don't see a reason for that, right? She's just, you know, in comparison, Summer Anise is still going to be the better one. Now the last two character is going to be Summer Mary and of course Swimsuit Neon, right? So let's talk about Summer Mary first. She's going to be, in my opinion, the better one between the two, but is she still worth getting in 2025, right? In my opinion, not really. So right now, the problem with Summer Mary or Swimsuit Mary right here, Mary Bay Goddess, is she's too niche and very, very specific to buffing only the water code allies, as you can see right here. So first things first, on the skill 1, you can see she's going to help you with recovery. Alright, she has a bit of healing right there, which is good. On her skill 2, you can see this is going to be where it's a little bit annoying, right? Only affects water code allies. So what she does is she increases your elemental code attack damage by up to 8%, right? 20% in the first activation, 13% on the second, and 8% on the third one. But you gotta keep in mind that this is only going to be useful if you are hitting fire enemies, right? Because it's improving your water allies' elemental code attack damage. Basically your elemental advantage, right? So it's only going to be useful in a scenario where you're fighting fire enemies. If this was attack percent buff or like attack damage buff, that means it will be much more universal, right? That means you can use it whenever you want as long as she's in a fire team. But because it's an elemental code attack damage, that means you have to be fighting a fire enemy, alright? So that's going to basically restrict the situation of her being useful, I guess, right? So there's two conditions. One, she can only buff water code allies. Two is they have to be fighting fire enemies specifically. Now the burst skill right here, at least this one is going to be much more universal, right? Affects all water code allies, increased attack. But you can see the attack percent is fine, but the timing is insanely pathetic, right? So this is 3 seconds. Most attack buffs, right, usually like for example, you can look at Crown's one, you can look at Litter's one, they are all at least 5 to 10 seconds, some of them even 15 seconds, right? But hers only lasts for 3 seconds, which is just really, really odd, right? Such a short buff duration, right? It's really, really weird. At least she can increase max HP as well. That's going to help with the healing and make them a little bit tankier. But other than that, she's too specific in the water team. And even now, I feel like she's not worth getting, right? Even as somebody that plays solo raids every single season, I just don't see her viability as a whole. She doesn't have CDR in her burst one. We have way more options now. Litter, Siren, we got Tove with Treasure. You know, if you're building a shotgun team, there's also like D Killer Wife, Rouge, etc, Volume. There's just so many other options, right? I don't see a reason or a need for you to specifically pull for her. In my opinion, I don't think she's worth it. Maybe just for the collection, but you probably can get away with not having her in the next water solo raids, right? I feel like she's just not that strong. Now last but not least though, Swimsuit Neon. Now at least Mary, maybe you can argue that, you know, there's a situation that you can use her. Now for Neon, I honestly don't see a reason for you to get her at all. Like she's just not worth it. She's pretty much worthless right now. She desperately needs the buff. I don't know why Shift Up is making her an extremely weak character. Hopefully in the future we'll get a different version of Neon, right? But right now she's an extremely weak character. Her skill 1, right? Increased damage to parts. Now this can be useful, but again it's very, very niche, right? It's not attack percent buff, it's not a damage percent buff, it's not crit rate or crit damage, it's damage to parts buff. So if the boss don't have parts, if you're fighting enemies that don't have those, then this is pretty much, this entire skill is rendered useless. So it's very, very niche. So skill 2 affects self, so she basically gets similar stuff. Elemental code attack damage. Again, I don't know why she doesn't get much more of a universal buff. She get the elemental advantage. So that means this will only be activated when you are hitting water, fire code enemies, because she's water, right? Now last but not least, her burst skill, change the weapon, alright, so damage is going to increase 33%, and then if the enemies belong to the fire code, she deals 11% of final attack as additional damage. Now you would assume with all of these bonuses that she has against fire enemies, she would be insane, No, her damage still sucks, man. Even like back then when Modernia, this was when she first came out, we were comparing her with Modernia. She's not even close, right? Modernia still outperforms her, and Modernia has pretty much fallen out of meta now. So I don't see how there's going to be any slot for Neon to be in, right? So for now, I just don't see a potential for her. I feel like a lot of these characters right now, if you care about the meta, they are no longer going to be super viable. The one that I think can last forever or pretty much last a long time is going to be Anise Sparkling Summer. Everyone else in this list is just pretty much has fallen off, maybe except for Miracle Fairy Anne. You can use her in PvP, and that's pretty much going to be my thought on these characters in 2025. So yeah, with that being said, that's gonna be it for this particular video. Let me know what you guys think of the summer characters, and if you want to pull for a good character, Bunny 8, like I mentioned, she is going to be very strong. Alright, so Vesti tactical upgrade is also a decent contender for PvP as well, if you're looking for that, right, specifically in PvP. But 8 Agent Bunny, she's going to be by far, I think, superior to a lot of other bursts too right now. So if you're looking for a strong meta character, she's going to be the one, although she will be added to the standard banner later on, so keep that in mind as well. Alright, with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.